Yes.
People are agitated, they are stressed. What's your advice to them in this critical time?
Well, thank you very much. You know, this is a very unfortunate situation. Not only is it unfortunate, it's totally needless. As much as the redesign of the Naira is well within the rights and powers of the central bank, the implementation of same has become very worrisome. As you can see behind me, this is a situation that obtains across the length and breadth of the state. As we speak, people are rioting on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The entire expressway is totally shut down. This was further exacerbated when the news began to filter that the old notes, the 1,500, will no longer be legal tender. You recall that the expiration for the 1,500 was meant to be 10th of February, but because of the Supreme Court order that said status quo ante should be maintained, people continued to trade in it and exchange same. But after yesterday's broadcast, we began to see a groundswell of agitation, anger, frustration, and it is highly regrettable. Because, like you heard me speaking to the manager of this Guarantee Trust Bank, I asked him a question. Before this Naira redesign policy, did you ever experience what you are going through? I said no. And what was that? He's out of cash at the ATM. He's out of cash at the bank. And this had never happened before. So obviously, this is not isolated. This is what is being experienced all over the branches of the banks in Abiodun, and of course, all over the country. As governors, we met with our president, we met with CBN governor, we identified with the policy, but our prayer was that can they allow the old notes and the new notes to run together in parallel until we have enough new notes in circulation. Now we understand that prayer has been answered in part by allowing the 200 Naira notes. But the question is, how many 200 Naira notes do we have available for circulation? From all indices, about 3 trillion has been withdrawn, about only 300 billion is in circulation. There's a gap of about 700 billion. Not unless we have 700 billion Naira worth of 200 Naira notes will this problem be satisfied. People are angry. People are frustrated. And sadly, we have elections in another few days. We as governors are bearing the pressure of all this, the consequence of a policy that we know nothing about. I am using this medium to plead with all our citizens. They should not resort to violence. Violence will not resolve this crisis. We are engaging the central bank. I was there last week. I called Bankers Forum. I'm meeting with all point of sales administrators tomorrow morning, very early tomorrow morning. I'm meeting with Bankers Forum again later tonight. We will resolve this crisis. We will find a solution. Our people should continue to be patient. However, what is most profound is this branch manager said he's still collecting old notes. I've announced any bank that does not collect old notes in Ogun State, not only will I shut that bank down, I will revoke their C of O, because it is a subsisting court order that clearly states that status quo should be maintained on this matter. And until that order is vacated or is determined, anybody that does otherwise is acting against the position of the court, the most respected court in this country. So I am pleading and admonishing all banks to ensure that they collect all those. Now, As a responsible government, by tomorrow I'll make further statements to see how I can bring succor and relief to our people. In the meantime, we are distributing palliative like we did during COVID. That's not what they want. They need money to buy drugs, like one man said. They've been here till 3 a.m. in the morning. They need money to buy basic needs. But let's at least, give them something to feed themselves. It's most unfortunate that this is where we find ourselves at this point in our nation's history. Thank you very much. Thank you.